Hi, I'm Austin Peters, event coordinator for Swinging for Shelter. We're trying to build an annual event here in Billings to help our nonprofit Tumbleweed in the attempt to get overnight housing accommodations.
Austin Peters with Swinging for Shelter.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Austin Peters, as you know, event coordinator for Swinging for Shelter. This will be the inaugural year for this event. And a little backstory on why I did this. So, in a past life, I used to be a golf course superintendent. So I traveled around the country working at high-end golf courses. And I also went abroad to New Zealand where I came upon a floating hole-in-one challenge at one of their towns. And it was really an interesting concept that I didn't see implemented stateside. And I thought, how do we put a creative spin on this to do something good for the community as well? The second half of that is, why is tumbleweed important to me? If we're getting vulnerable here, I lost both of my parents at a young age, and I had a lot of mental health issues from that time to about my mid-20s until I was able to, take that leap to get help. And a lot of these kids at Tumbleweed, they're in that same boat. They're from broken homes. They don't have the resources in place to take care of themselves properly. And ultimately, the name Swinging for Shelter is, we need to get them accommodations so that they're not sleeping on the streets at night. And that is the whole premise of building this community event, which I hope to become an annual tradition in our community here. So, like I stated, community fundraising event for Tumbleweed. The pricing is pretty shallow right now. It's the first year, so we're doing $10 general admission. And if you'd like to participate in the golf challenge, it's going to be $20 for 10 balls. Western Security put up $10,000 if somebody gets a hole-in-one, so there's the attention grabber to get people to show up to the event. I wanted a fun way for making golf approachable. You can go to every scramble on the weekends, but ultimately most people don't feel comfortable doing that. So this gives people a way to spectate golf while enjoying a cocktail if they'd like. Our biggest challenge is, how do we transform this pilot event into a sustainable annual tradition? So it's been a lot of logistics, planning, trying to figure out what the needs of the people are in order to get this off the ground. And ultimately, my biggest challenge has been, how do we translate grassroots interest into people buying tickets? So I've only sold one ticket so far, but as I've been out in the community talking about this, there's a lot of excitement that isn't being translated into ticket sales. So that's something that we'll have to discuss later. I think we wait till the end, right? Okay, cool. So what have I tried? What have I tried so far? This is the flyer that I've been walking around the streets, sending to every, storefront, put it in the windows, tape it up there, tell everybody and your mother about it. And I went up and down Main Street in the Heights, because ultimately that's where Eagle Rock is. I will push my way to Central if I have time for it. But we got the Western Security 10 grand commitment, which is the attention grabber. The Tumbleweed partnership, which created credibility. I have the event page on Facebook, as well as a ticketing site for people to buy them online. There's a drone footage promo video that I just did. We weren't able to get it uploaded properly, but you can find it on the Facebook page. And I have a radio interview with Town Square Media 1029 on the 29th. So I've reached out to all the major news outlets and trying to generate buzz close to the event there. And we're in the water, so it floats. What's worked? I've really gotten a lot of support in the community from, acquiring materials to build the platform, as well as local sponsors that have put up money, like Western Security. There's another bracket of sponsorship called a mulligan sponsor. So in the event that somebody gets the grand prize right off the back, we want to make sure that people stick around for a reason, right? So I created the mulligan sponsor, which is an additional $1,000 sponsorship to kind of keep the interest going. So have secured 3 of those sponsorships so far, but open to more. Thank you. Like we talked about, we're not converting interest into ticket sales yet, and we don't have any track record. So ultimately, it's build it and they will come, and you just got to take a leap of faith there. This is my digital business card. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, feel free to scan that. It's got all my socials and everything on there. And this was the promo video that we were hoping to launch, but ultimately you can find it on Facebook as well. So,
Thank you, Austin.
you got it.
All right, so we are going to open it up for questions. I'm going to start with you back here because
So you were asking about generating public interest, and I know that obviously this is your inaugural year, but towards the future years, do you see yourself doing it at different golf courses and trying to get them involved? Because as a golfer myself, I know that if I wouldn't have ran into you, I probably wouldn't have heard of this because I rarely golf at Eagle Rock. I'm mostly at Yellowstone and Yagan and things like that. But as far as generating public interest, do you think that maybe trying to get different golf courses involved, or even maybe multiple golf courses in one year? A lot of organizing for sure, but I think that a lot of times when you're working to raise money for something, a lot of times when you can pull the kids into it, it'll generate a lot more public interest. So just thoughts on that.
Definitely looking to expand, and I did reach out to every golf course in town, and Eagle Rock was the only one that saw the vision. So I think that carries its weight.
Maybe they're the only people who see it the first year.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
So.
Just so you know, guys, too, he does have some flyers back here by the donuts. And so if you'd like to take one for your office or hand them out, or if you know anybody else who might need a flyer, you can grab one from back there. Holly?
This is more of a congratulations on getting that first person and then getting the 3 with the 1,000, because that tells you that you have community ownership, even though it's just a vision at this point.
Right.
It's that first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know it's possible. So whatever happens, congratulations on getting that.
Thank you.
A couple things.
Yeah.
First, can you go back to your business card? There we go. Perfect. And then also, this person right here is Mitch Bone, super connected in the sports community in Billings as well. So a good connection for you. As far as media outlets, you said you have Town Square interviews. Did you get responses from the other people?
It was kind of like the Gazette, some of the bigger outlets. I got 2 responses saying, like, touch base with me when we get closer. I'm busy.
Gotcha.
But apart from that, no, I have not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards.
Okay, great.
I can connect it to some more.
Excellent. Anybody else?
It's okay. I get my steps in today.
I guess the big question, it must not have translated up here because I went over, but ultimately the question I had for everybody was, how do we make this an annual event? Right? How do we make this a tradition for Billings where at some point I won't even need to do all this logistical stuff. It'll be something people anticipate and they're excited for every year. That's what I want this to be built into. So from what I've done now, what is the feedback you have for me to make that happen?
So I don't have an answer to that question today, but I do have the one that So I was just thinking, I probably am not going to be somebody that's going to go and try and do the hole-in-one challenge, but I would absolutely donate $20 for a kid to try.
Yeah.
So is there an opportunity to put out like donation baskets at each of the other golf courses where it's like, hey, I'm not going to go to that, but I'll throw $20 in to see some kid or whatever.
I guess how would we set that up? Like I have the ticketing site where you can.
Well, it's worth thinking like a cup, like a jar, like a donation jar with the picture on the front, kind of like asking for a kid.
So if a kid shows up and they don't
like
want
at the other courses where you buy the balls, like you're gonna go in and buy a basket of balls, and then they're like, hey, do you want to donate $20 for a kid to do 10 things at this hole-in-one challenge?
It's like a cookie jar.
Yeah, and then when kids come and apply, then you get these kids, and their parents have to come, right? Their parents have to pay.
Here's a pot of $100, $200.
Yeah,
okay.
And wouldn't it be really cool if a kid got it?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So to that point, you're working with Tumbleweed, right? So they have all of these teenagers over there. Have you done social media videos with some of the teens from Tumbleweed and have them say like, we'd like to go try for the hole-in-one. Do you want to donate $20 for me to go like try? And so then you can have this whole little Facebook campaign for like a few teenagers from Tumbleweed and incorporate Tumbleweed a little more other than like we're going to give Tumbleweed money. Like Tumbleweed needs to be kind of.
My point of contact there presented it as we don't want to put them in the spotlight. They're vulnerable. They don't like the attention. So ultimately we're trying to create an environment for them, but we don't want to showcase them. That's kind of the feedback I got from them.
Yeah, based on that point, you don't have to use the actual kids.
Okay.
Right? What I recommend is at least use kids because there's some people that would donate just because it's kids, but if they don't see that, it's going to be a little bit tough.
Okay.
Wall to climb. So.
Okay.
So even if you had like the adults who work at Tumbleweed on video talking about the kids and maybe telling one kid's story without naming them, things like that. There's ways to tie them in.
Okay.
That we can look at. Holly, I'm going to go to Matt and then
I have two parts. One was just a question on what is going to Tumbleweeds? Is it just ticket sales? Is it sponsorships? It doesn't talk at all in the promotions about that.
So in the event that nobody gets a hole-in-one, all money that's contributed to the cause goes straight to Tumbleweed.
Okay.
So somebody might walk home with $10,000, but in the event they don't, that goes straight to Tumbleweed.
And then everything
as does the sponsorships as well.
Okay.
Yep.
And then as far as making it into an ongoing event, I think I have no experience in this, so I'm just throwing out this idea. But I would think in your mind as the main organizer, if you want to make this a long-term event, you're going to have to keep in mind that I think the hardest part of your work or the majority of your work is going to be right after the event finishes. And you're going to have to go back around to all the sponsors and really hit while the iron's hot, so to speak, and get them to say, hey, this was successful, or we almost got there and we want to do this again and build it. So it'll be right after the event. I think there's a danger that you might, be finished with the event and then it'll be
all right.
And then like 6 months later or so, you
keep the pedal down.
Yeah, it'll be right after.
Okay, good feedback.
I've put together events and I've put together projects, and the first year is always the hardest and the biggest, steepest learning curve. Year 2 is a little more refining, and then after that, as far as making it an annual event, consider how to bring other people in and have not this, because nobody's going to care about your project as much as you do unless you give them a sense of ownership or a sense of community. And so to partner with people who you take them in and let them feel seen and heard, and then that would open up the floor for them to maybe even think of things you don't think of, and you can organically grow that way. So everything doesn't bottleneck with you, and you it's that way. There's more of a community ownership rather than everything falls on you, which is overwhelming.
Very much.
And
I've partnered with, I don't know if anybody knows him, Kobe Williams, who owns Golf World. He gave me the space to build the green. He's been helping out with the promo video. So he's been my partner in crime for the majority of the setup here. So yeah, that's great. Yes, exactly. Tumbleweed's been very helpful as well. They have a business development officer that is out in the streets helping me do flyers and getting the word out for sponsorships. So.
Do you have any connections with have you made any connections with the radio program, the Big J Show? Is that what it is? Anybody have connections to them? They're pretty good about.
Sounds like she's going to hook me up with them later on.
Oh, good. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I'll take everything. Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, because that's usually a pretty good draw. So
Okay.
I'm excited, and you and I have talked about this too.
Yeah.
But I think I would announce it as an annual event, and come next year we'll have more things. And Tumbleweed has some things going on. As you know, they have another fundraiser or party that's going to happen this fall, and just kind of keep it in the conversation.
How do we keep helping?
Remind people that that's going to happen. And and Tumbleweed's a great thing to sponsor, but there are tons of nonprofits in this town. So how can maybe there's an engagement or involvement with other nonprofits? You and I have talked about the music element too. So, but and that's one option of many.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be many different things.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I'm excited for it.
So we just had our inaugural event in December, and then we had our second one in June. And the biggest tip I have for you is it's really about your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If you want this to be an annual event, then it is. Like, you just go into this as if it's the first of several. When we finished our first one, I had the date for the second one. And you just kind of have to have faith that there will be a second one.
Mm-hmm.
And because the first one, very rare, people don't know about it. They don't know what it is.
Right.
And once you do it, then you build all that engagement. And I think it was Matt who said too, afterwards is what really matters, because everybody who supported is aware. And so you get to go right back to those people and be like, hey, this is when the next one is. And I like the idea of rotating the the nonprofits too, because there are so many in this town.
There are. Yeah.
That's my tip.
Lots of problems to solve.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So to make it an annual event, for me at least, and for probably the majority of the community, it has to have a bigger draw than come hit balls at a platform. Because I have zero interest. I probably couldn't even hit the lake, let alone a platform on the lake.
Yeah.
And I have even less interest in watching other people try to do that.
Oh, okay.
But if there was a local band up there and some food trucks and some other events going on, now it's more, this is the main attraction.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the food trucks, but I have 4 food trucks that are committed so far. So, and I talked to Shelby about getting her husband out there. I think we were too close to the event and funding. Yeah. So definitely going to make that happen next year.
Yep.
And the other aspect too is Eagle Rock is allowing the driving range to be totally shut down. So this is a huge, expansive space where we could have local vendors. It could be set up like Summerfest, where you have all the local arts and crafts, and the golf green can kind of just be an extension later on. So
I think you're onto it, man. I think your next year is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then to keep promoting it, I'd say use the local influencers. I see you work for EXP. Damien is hugely connected in the community.
Yep.
Devon Hayes has a large following. Tap into them, and I'm sure they would be willing to help you promote this stuff. And then what everyone was saying, follow up with your sponsors. Make sure you track attendance so you can go to the sponsor and say, hey, you committed $500 and we had 2,500 eyes looking at your material all day long. Then that'll reinforce them. Oh, okay, this was worthwhile. Otherwise, they just threw some money at the thing, and who knows what came of it.
Right.
I see you, Sharice. Hold, please.
All right. So, as somebody who's in the art world, there has been a large and wonderful community between golfing and fine arts. But you got to keep in mind, if you're going to bring in vendors, you want to make sure they're fine art vendors, not crafty junk that gets pulled in.
Yeah.
So if you're going to bring in vendors, you want to make sure you are having them tell you exactly what they're going to be selling and give you pictures, so that it's a curated event, not another junk show.
Yeah.
In doing a lot of vendor shows over my lifetime, and I've seen this a lot, people are tired of just coming to an event to spend money.
Right.
They want to have something like bands or watching plein air painters actually paint live. Or, they want to be entertained. They don't want to feel like all they're doing is shelling out money. I think that's the reason why a lot of vendor events currently are flopping horribly. Is because there's no community buy-in and you're not giving anything back to the community. They feel like all they're doing is shelling out money out of their pockets that they don't have necessarily.
Sure.
So if you are going to bring in vendors, please be very mindful about who you're bringing in and what you're giving back to your audience.
Very good. Yeah.
All right, we have time for maybe one or two more.
I was want to echo what Scott said about like trying to make an event. Sounds like you've already got some food trucks involved. I would make sure people know all that when you're selling tickets. Like all of that information is there, so they know it's more than just watch people hit
right.
hit a wall at something.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I would like to watch it, but like I would be more likely to come if I knew there was other stuff around. And the other thing is, with the ticketing, I might put it as like a suggested donation, but like people could put in more if they wanted to. Like if people want to put $100 in, like let them do that. Pay for their ticket, like just if they want to donate or whatever.
So on the ticketing site, I have 4 different options. The general admission, there's a combo for getting the general admission and the golf challenge. You can also donate as you wish, and then the Mulligan sponsor as well. So,
okay, cool.
All right. So you mentioned your one question that the 1 Million Cups community can do for you already, but I'm going to let you ask it one more time.
How do we turn this into an annual tradition?
Yep. So if anybody else has an answer to that or some ideas that you didn't get to share, Austin will be around afterwards and you guys can exchange business cards, set up coffee dates, email, however you want to communicate that and help him out. So let's give a big hand for Austin.
Thank you.